Yeah,
Yeah,
they're going
that's
to die. Yeah, people,
honestly,
they got to.
I think I think it's just like at this point, maybe like emphasis on maybe I don't know how it is with a budget and stuff like that, but it's supposed to be implied that like hey, we can take out a few White Walkers, man. We might be outnumbered, but like we could swing that thing. We could take out a few White Walkers, man. I think like I don't know if that's supposed to be implied. Again, that's that feel like reaching, but like well, especially in Sam's case, like with somebody like Brienne, Jamie, low key makes sense because like yeah, he his other hand, but he's still a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Brienne, she's still a beast. Podrick, she was still taught. He was still taught by a beast. So like those make sense. In Sam's case, hell to the nah.
No,
And
see,
John case, yeah. But in Sam's case, hell to the nah. And I completely, yeah. That's why it's like, it do feel like reaching with that. But like,
yeah. Now, also, this show has given us from the beginning the president that it's not going to,
save their lives from making stupid choices.
yeah, well, but this time, it kind of did, which is typical show plot armor. Typical show plot armor. You're going to be like, in any of the things that they had, you're going to be like, okay, well, at least I know the show ain't over because, what I'm saying? There's more episodes and my nigga's got to be in it, But with this show, in the very beginning, if you would have said, Ned Stark would have died, I'm like, well, shit, what else are we going to do then, But,
yeah.
But now he's saving every single one of them. Bro.
Yeah, but I mean, but like you said, it's not over, and
it's not.
A lot of them will probably be dead by the end.
I agree, but see, let's say this is the conclusion for the Night King, right?
Mm-hmm.
You telling me, other than Jorah Mormont, the Little Bear, Ed,
I forgot about the Little Bear. Oh, man. Forgot about the Little Bear and Theon.
And Theon. You know what I mean? But these characters that you knew, like they were setting up the Little Bear to die the whole episode. You know what I mean? So you got the Little Bear, like you already knew she was going to die. Jorah, you already knew he wanted to die. He's been saying that I want to die for my queen. That's pretty much Daenerys. That's what I mean. So you already knew he was going to die. Ed. As soon as you hear him say, Sam, get up, you knew he was dead. He was on my list to die because I already knew that I was hoping they didn't, but I already knew they was going to kill him off. So it's the people you knew was going to die. But to subvert our expectation, you know what I mean? Or whatever you want to say to us, when it comes to somebody dying in the Winterfell, one of the main characters that you didn't think would die should have died. You know what I'm trying to say? From a story perspective. And they saved them every single time. That's all. That's all. You know what I mean? Once again, I was entertained. All 3 episodes, I've been entertained. I loved the interactions. I love certain moments. Each actor and actress been bringing their A game. Like they've been killing it. But once again, the story is a whole different thing. They rushing it. It's been killing. We didn't even talk about all the zombies they did show. All the zombie giants they showed the previous seasons, and we only seen one this episode. No more giant bears or white bears. no white. You see what I mean? There was, and once again, we could talk about a budget, but we're talking about the most profitable show, the most award-winning show that's ever been on air.
But how much does a fucking dragon fight cost?
I mean, this is the first time we got one, so I mean, I don't. I mean, that's the first time we got. I don't know, bro. But it's
on top of playing your fucking now, your now stars that definitely.
Bro, this is $1 billion show though. From all the things that they got, from the licensing things to every single one of us that pays for an HBO or HBO account or cable or whatever, they make plenty of money, and this is the last season of a show that pretty much brought HBO back on top. You see what I mean?
I don't think that this was I don't know. I don't know if it was a skimp out of budget more as just a bad decision to make it dark. Because from what I understand, and this is like off of a little like clip I seen of a behind the scenes thing, I think. Mm-hmm. But from what I understand, I thought this was like one of the most expensive episodes I ever had.
It is. I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I mean, our longest. The longest like battle type thing.
Yeah, and that they had used like it wasn't the walkers weren't all CGI or whatever. There was a majority like actual like I guess costume to people or whatever the fuck, which I guess technically means payroll to people.
Extras and shit.
Yeah. but I'm not 100% sure on that fact. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I think it was more a bad decision making than a budget thing as far as keeping it dark and shit like that. Because it would, I think, a lot of complaints would have not happened if it wasn't as dark.
If you could see what's actually
Yeah.
going on and stuff. And I think that was a way to like once again, this army is supposed to be huge. How big? You remember the battle skills, and they show you like how big the army's supposed to be. It's to hide most of the army, so they don't have to render all of their army or show you all of the army, and you don't get to see how huge this scale army is. So it saved them a little bit of money there by making it a little bit darker, so you can't actually see how huge the threat actually is.
And do you think that maybe they even took an older route as far as being like, or was it as the older? Yeah, where he's like, yo, I don't know how they're gonna win this. So basically, like, as far as like, if we really showed you like how many people they're supposed to have, that would really look like it was no possible
like
way.
It's no possible way. But yeah, like anyway, but and also another thing is, I know the director who wanted to show you, like, the reason that he had so much shaky cam and all this other stuff, I guess, is from what I'm hearing from other YouTubers and just like this, when it comes to this part, is that he likes directing that way. Like, he likes to put you in action and stuff like that. I don't necessarily see that as an excuse. I see that. I mean, well, I see it as an excuse. More what I would say, because I don't. You know what I mean? I get it, but is that really a good excuse for that? You know what I mean? Like, really? Yeah. But like Towns, you said, we got so much more. They could be. You know what I mean? We only halfway there. We're not done. We got hours. We still got hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely right on that. This is me nitpicking the episodes. Like, once again, as a fan, I'm allowed to do that. I think,
no, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. I got my grudges with it. You know, as we nitpicking through this, y'all starting to see, you know what I mean? Y'all even got y'all picks, you know. But that's all it is, and it's all in fun and games. This is still the show that brought me to the books that I love today. This is the show that brought me into the history that I love. I found the show before the books. I heard of the books, but I didn't know about, like, you know what I mean? I never went out to go actively read any until I watched the first episode of the first season that I got to watch that day. You know what I mean? Like, I got to watch it from day one, and I was so stoked, and it drove me. You know what I mean?
And it was over at that point.
Like it was over. Like I love fantasy, and that was, you know what I mean? Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I love that shit. So this was a whole nother playing field. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it starts off with pushing a little nigga out the fucking window.
Yeah, that shit was wild, bro. I honestly didn't know if I could get with it. It took me a long time, and this year was this year is when I caught up to Game of Thrones. Yeah. I had to restart with season 1, episode 1. And yeah, man, that was wild, man. I'll never forget that. I was like, I don't know if I can watch this shit.
And that's all it took. It took me in. So before I go, like I'm not just trying to bash the show. I love it. It brought me into this world. But we see the difference between when George R. R. Martin works on it and when they doing it by themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
there is a difference. There's definitely a difference.
Huge difference. Now, we know that they say that, you know, the end game's supposed to be the same, or it's supposed to line up, and it's supposed to be the same as the book, but how you get there is supposed to be different. So a lot of people make excuses like that, like, oh, what did George R. R. do? You know what I mean? It could be, or he's going to do this in the book, so I don't know why you're mad. No, they're saying that there's going to be things that's similar, and it might end up the same. They didn't say guaranteed. They didn't say for a fact. Just like people try to take the whole thing with them saying that when they first wanted to do the show, George R. R. Martin asked them a question, who was Jon Snow's mom? And they answered. Everybody's like, oh, you know, they had to answer right, so it has to be true that he's actually, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's not actually facts. You know what I mean? They tell you that they never actually said that. Yeah, that was the answer. George R. R. Martin never said it. They never said it. And if anybody could show me an interview where they actually said it out their mouth that they answered Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar, I shut up. But there's no interview like that.
Like, that would definitely, like, Like it wouldn't be a theory at that point.
Exactly.
Like,
It wouldn't be a theory. There's no interview like that. It wouldn't be a theory. And that's why people still holds on strong that different theories could be correct in the book because they never said that there was, you know what I'm saying? I have my whole theory on that. I have a whole theory on all of that still, and I believe that I think it's pretty close. But and that's the whole good thing about it. Like there's amazing characters in there, and what we do know from what they said is that they wanted to get done with it, so they rushed a little bit, and the story paid the price.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Like in situations like that.
That's what happens. We see it in manga. We see Bleach.
Definitely.
Bleach. Good example.
Seven Deadly Sins.
Seven Deadly. And and to be honest, I'm starting to see it in One Piece. I feel like they rushing. I feel like they trying to rush Yuichiro Oda. I feel like it. You can see it in his writing.
Think so?
You can see it in his writing.
I think they noticed a downward trend with that, and that's exactly why they got a new editor. I think that's why I think they wouldn't have bothered getting a new editor if they would have been rushing them. So it's like but I do think they noticed a downward trend because it's like there's been like 30 chapters of it's not like I'm not in this, and it's like it's not like it's terrible. Like it's not like it's terrible, but it's just like
average.
It's a lot of build up, but it's like Marineford's build up was fucking Impel Down. So like, and this is like regular arc build up to Marineford. Like I can't imagine it. Like, cause everything's supposed to swell, but it's like, all of this stuff's supposed to happen, but it's like, how are we still just sliding by? You know what I mean? How does that make sense? So it do feel like that, and they do correlate to the Game of Thrones because you could just kind of tell a difference in quality and like and people working on things. So it's like if it feel like One Piece started to heat up now, different editor, it like a little bit not heating, like more plot points things are starting to actually happen now that like we have a different editor. Things are starting to actually happen, move forward. Whereas you can see now that our George R.R. Martin, if we call him our editor of our manga, anime, Game of Thrones, now that he's out, it's like backwards. So now, like it's a little, it's low key kind of linear story wise, a little linear. It's like, oh yeah, so now we gonna kill them, and one of them 3 people that was crying, John, who was crying about not wanting to be a king. And the other 2 was crying about being queens. All of them crying. One of them is eventually gonna be and sit on the throne, and they all gonna live happily ever after.
I just, but y'all see what I'm talking about. Like you can see it though.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Right. That's a disclaimer. Right. But no, like,
right. I understand what you mean.
But like, I can say, hey, everything can end up hunky dory.
All I'm saying is, we as the audience could see it in they writer. We could see it in season 8. We've been fans. We've been watching. We're not stupid.
I agree. If season 7, like all that, but Beyond the Wall, if that it ends up being for nothing, that's so trash.
At this point, it is for nothing.
That's so trash to me. And I didn't until you said something. I didn't even fathom, like that was the whole last season, getting that one White Walker for Cersei who didn't even see any. She didn't even care. She wasn't there. Yeah. Like,
they don't even. I
didn't think she was gonna be. I didn't think she was gonna be there.
Her plan didn't even backfire. That was the whole thing. Like it should have backfired. Because you're so stupid and you didn't decide to help, we lost the war.
Yet.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's once again. That's we hoping that the story is not over, because if it is, then episode 1, and when you first see the threat for the White Walkers, with a named character who is a POV character in the books, like it's not even a main character, but like you get the threat for the White Walkers. You know what I mean? Like you see this threat and how threat this is. It's gonna be a motherfucker if it was all for naught. Branch training was all for naught. Yeah. This is the reason. fucking It's been so long since he's been in the show and in the books because we haven't actually had the books in a while. But who Mira Reed's brother, Jojen.
Yeah.
His whole death, him getting shanked by the White Walkers to get him to get Bran to the 3-hour wave was all for nothing. Just so he could stare at the Night King.
Because that's all that happened. And that's all that happened. There's so many people sacrificed their lives for Bran. They sacrificed their lives for Bran.
For this. This came to a little once again, we all love this. We love the season so far, right? But this episode just it was
hopefully there's just more story with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like we're like you said earlier, Tony, like bashing it, but like I mean, there are things there are things to discuss. Like if we're just like once the fandom, the fanboyism dies down, there is a couple things to address. But
absolutely,
there's always
we loving it so much just because we've been out of it for 2 years.
Yeah, but it's like, and on top of that, it's not like everything is just like terrible. Like they trying to they're like producing it well. It's just like what you're seeing is nice, but what's just going through is okay.
As
someone what about that other stuff that happened? Like
yeah, as someone who's just first going through it, I feel like I don't have as much stuff to complain about because there's always still feels like there's a lot of shit that I gotta rewatch. So I got it all kind of like in the last month and a half, and at that point, it's there are some gripes, but it's so I haven't for one been waiting, so it's really not as big of an impact on me.
That makes sense too.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed the episodes. As a fan of the show, I enjoyed it. Like I say, the story I just have my problems with. But hey, I have fun. I have fun watching. I've been having fun watching the season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's not like they can't. It's not like there's things that they can't do just like to retcon everything that we just thinking right now.
Exactly. They can't. I mean, like once again, some shit could still happen. So I'm trying to give it that. But
yeah,
plot holes are in the story right now, and certain things that happen with the plot is very stupid.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's what it is. That's just what it is. Jon yelled at a dragon. Don't forget that. I was sure like, boy, okay, boy, what you about to do with this? What you about to do to this dragon? What's about to happen right now? What's about to happen right now? So you running a fade with the dragon? Mm-hmm. So you just and it died. We don't even get Jon Snow, the Dragon Slayer. We just get Jon Snow. Aegon Targaryen, the Dragon Yeller.
That's a dragon whisperer, bro. What you mean?
Yeah, the dragon.
You never heard of the dragon whisperer? That's my boy.
The dragon died. He was like, "Oh, okay, hey, it worked. It worked."
Yeah, how to train your dragon? Yeah, he started that.
But once again, if Arya wouldn't have stabbed the Night King at that very moment, Jon Snow would be dead, huh?
Hello.
That's the Lord of Light at work, right there. Because man,
she couldn't get there a little faster for my boy fucking Theon. Hello, she couldn't get there a little faster.
And dude, when the Theon scene happened, I honestly thought
I was ready.
I thought that he was gonna turn around. Like I thought there was 50% chance that he was gonna be like, "So can I go?" Like I'd have been like, "Well, nigga, like
right." I would have.
I'm gonna go ahead and go the other way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He said, "You're a good man." Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, does that mean run up or put it down? You know what I'm saying? I was confused.
Like. Can you give me a heads up, Bran? What's up? Should I charge this motherfucker?
Yeah, because Bran, because it was like really unclear. I was like, dude, if you know he's gonna die, like just tell him to go run. Tell him to run. Cause
he's just like, it's been real.
Right?
What?
You're a good man.
What do you mean? He literally could have just dipset to the crib and been good. But Bran would be dead as fuck. But it's like, but all he did was walk but like he walked.
He
That's
just
why it's
vanished.
like there were like several things that stopped him for several seconds. It's like if that firewall wasn't there, Bran would be dead. Like that was several seconds. It's like if Theon wasn't there, Bran would be dead, and there's like several seconds. And it's like I get it, that makes sense, but it's like
A lot of
damn,
plot
dog,
convenience.
like,
Either plot
like he
convenience or
couldn't,
the Lord of
like he
Light
couldn't
work.
just take. Like what if he would have just took the wheelchair and just dipped? Fuck it,
Yeah.
we just gonna run.
Yeah, we outta here, right.
We out this bitch. Nah, fuck this wheelchair, nigga. Get on my shoulder. We
Yeah.
out this mug. What you mean?
Hold on.
Especially
No,
if
like,
you
hold
knew
on.
that the Night King was gonna Night King was gonna kill
What?
him himself. Yeah, I'm dipping.
Come
Hey,
on, bro. Let's go.
We didn't even get a dead.
I told you I wouldn't be
Hodor,
bait. You
a
gonna be
dead
bait on my
recon.
shoulders, you dumb bitch. Let's go.
Nothing, bro.
Arya here. We ain't seen him. We ain't seen the Night King sprint once. He ain't got no. He ain't got ups. He ain't got no legs.
Daenerys
Nah,
tried to hit
boy.
him
He
with
ain't.
the dragon
Nah.
fire. He smirked.
He
at
walk
him.
around like fucking Jason.
He said, "Ha! This bitch tried to put me on fire." Nope. Jakar's these nuts.
Hello. That's what I'm like. God damn.
Oh man, it was like I said, I was very entertained. It was funny. Yeah, I see John was surrounded by zombies right then again. Night King just looked at him. He's like, "Oh shit, let me run towards him."
Dude, when the Night King slowed down, like to start to hear him, I was like thinking in my head, like drop, like sneak up on this nigga. Like as soon
Hey,
as the
but
dude was
he
slowed
slowed
down,
down. He slowed down
flattened
himself.
out.
He stops. He stops and looks at the Night King. So they
Yeah.
have another stare down, just so he can say, "Oh shit, he raising it dead. Let me run."
I'd have been
Well,
calling
why
to
did
that
you need?
nigga.
I'm sure, like, bro, you should have charged that man.
Right,
You
I would have been
should've-
running on if I'm finna die.
Don't
I
give
guess
him no chance to raise his arms. Don't give him chop them arms off. What you thought this was? You got to.
Because it still took a second too for everybody to get up because he was like, and it still took a
He
second.
hesitated like 2 times
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, he said like like twice.
Should I raise him on you?
He said, "Hold up. Wait, should I run towards him?
Wait.
Should I run back?" Like, what?
It's like I've been ready to die for this moment, but I don't know if I'm ready to die for this moment.
Guess
Do you
what?
think he could have took him?
If I was a story
Yeah.
writer,
Hell
this
yeah.
is where Ghost
Hell
could have
yeah.
popped up and died. Ghost could have
You said-
died saving John right here. Like, and I don't want Ghost to live through it all, but he's a Targaryen now, so they've been treating Ghost like a whatever he is now. And you
Oh,
might as
boy.
well could have gave Ghost a good death by saving John in that moment, surrounded by zombies, with the Night King raising. He vanished into the darkness. We didn't see Ghost run back into Winterfell, did y'all? I didn't.
Not at once.
I mean, but he's in the trailer for the next episode. So all I'm saying is he was out there in the battlements. At least that's what I'm assuming. And he could have ran up, saved John. Hell, John could have even hopped on his back, just like how they used to say Rob was riding Grey Ren through the battles of Whispering Woods. That was a legend, even though we know it's not true. But people were saying that this could have been a perfect opportunity to have John ride Ghost out of the fucking out of danger.
Right, Ghost.
Or at least, just saving John or something. That's just from a story writer perspective of how you could even
I
make
think John
that
too
one
damn
look
big.
scene.
I think John too damn big to be on Ghost.
No, because Ghost is a direwolf,
pretty
bro.
fucking big.
Ghost is a direwolf that's supposed to be huge. Like, I think they kind of like,
That's a show thing.
Yeah, they
that
kinda-
they made it not as big as it's supposed to be.
yeah, I guess, but it's supposed to be.
That's what
huge.
you mean.
All I'm saying is he rode off. You remember how he rode off on the horse when Benjen put him on the horse and he was all fucked up from being iced out.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it don't got to be perfect. Ghost is strong enough to carry. He killed human mans. You know what I mean? Big. Man. He's strong enough to carry John, at least. But all I'm saying is you could have made Ghost even more useful than just running into the darkness with Jorah Mormont, and you know what I mean. Then making him disappear. We get that John's a Targaryen now, but you don't have to completely get rid of Ghost. And hopefully, Ghost still play a role. Nymeria might still play a role. All these dogs might play a role. Night King still might play a role. I don't know. What anybody? Y'all got any questions? Y'all got anything y'all want to talk about? Because I was just thinking about the episode, and I pretty
Realistically, my biggest thing is a lot of my biggest things is what we talked about and exactly like what this last little scuffle is going to be, because like I obviously we got two, maybe like 1-2 dragons, whatever, the remnant of our forces, and then against Cersei, the Golden Army, Euron, all that, and that's pre if Cersei tries some underhanded shit. Just I don't know, that's pre any of that. I just think no matter Night King come back or not.
Been
I think
watching
this.
time.
Hello. On God, bro. But what's it called? If the Night King comes back or not, it's still interesting, the whole Cersei and all that aspect and all that, just because like I still that's what I wanted to see that at first. And I can imagine like if the books end with the Song of like Fire and Ice, I can imagine like them settling their whole throne thing first and then finishing the whole Night King, because it's like, if that's the whole like world, like you should definitely like, that's like, I get it, it's the Game of Thrones, but like we shouldn't be worried about who wins that shit. We should be worried about who lives at the end.
Do you remember what they said? Mm-hmm. This is the end of the world. Hey, how I feel staring out at the end of the world. That was the end of the night.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, they did say it at the beginning of the episode. They're like, it's the end of the world.
That was an afternoon.
Long night. That night was 1 hour and 30 minutes. What?
Right, that was no long night, right?
They got done. They said, "Woo, yes."
Hey, let's go get fucked up. Let's go ahead and burn the bodies, and we're gonna have a feast, y'all. Yeah.
That's who cleaning that up? Who
shit, man.
They just gonna build Winterfell somewhere else? They just not gonna move them bodies? Where they go? Who cleaning that up?
In the little trailer that they got for next episode, looks like they just gonna burn them all. So I mean, probably be. But I mean, like,
Winterfell gonna fucking stink for the next 50 years.
Ooh, the long night. That's what happens. That's what happens when you got the long night. But yeah, that was one great evening, I guess.
the great.
What about you, Money?
The extended evening.
You got any more thoughts, like on any of the episodes for real? Because there wasn't really much to talk about. It was just mostly just callbacks, reunions, interactions, and the short night. So.
Yeah, not really. I guess I'm just kind of more excited to see, or really kind of, I guess, waiting for final, or like my final judgment on like what's gonna happen over these next, 3, hour and some change ass episodes, because it's like, would it really be 3 episodes over just handling Cersei?
We're hoping not.
No, but maybe, because I guess you could say these first 3 were about handling the Night King. But who knows? I think there's got to be, if we just handle the Night King, there's got to be a time skip involved. Or if we just handle Cersei, rather, there's got to be a time skip involved, because there's no way we can handle Cersei right off the bat.
I think that last episode, I think the next 2 episodes is going to be Cersei.
Time skippy.
And then the last episode is going to be a prologue time skip. And you'll probably see the Westeros afterwards. You probably get to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, unless we have 2 dragons, I don't think we can.
And they got the ability to kill the dragons, because I don't think the dragons gonna survive through it anyways.
I can feel the excitement like I can sense an indictment. Swear I hope that I'm wrong, but just in case I'm on my tip. Forever on some fly shit, however